Right, I'm just going to show you how to tie Grant's orange. It's my most prolific pattern. I tied it in 2007 and over the years it's changed a bit. I've added a hackle and some mirror flash and done away with this pearly body that I used to have on it. So I tie it now on a gold salar. You can use a silver salar as well, or maybe a Patriot as a substitute because it's getting difficult to get salars. So. Size wise, anything from a 15 up to a 5. This is a 5 that we're tying on today, so probably number 9's the size I use the most on the spay here. So what we'll do is we'll just start off the fly, just a few turns of black thread. It's a 6/0 that I'm using today. I like that, I prefer that for salmon flies. It's a bit tougher, a bit stronger for locking in the materials. So basically the whole fly is just tied in the first quarter of the hook shank. So we just a few layers on there just to start off. Now I don't tend to use a body, as I say, with this fly. So to replace that, obviously we've got the gold body incorporated in the hook, so just to put a bit of flash on, what I tend to use is this mirror flash. And I'll tie that in 4 strands, but I'll put the first 2 strands just about half a length of the hook, so it sticks out just about half a length again behind the end of the hook. So only a couple of turns needed on that. Then just take the rest of it and fold it over, and a couple of turns again. Now with this second lot, I tend to cut it a bit shorter. That just gives you a nice kind of tapered start to the fly. Now for the underwing, I use a fluorescent orange bucktail here. You don't need much, just a few strands. And you want to just kind of tease it out, getting a bit of a taper there if you can. Yeah, that's about right. And just to the end of the mirror flash for length. Start off fairly slack turns on the left hand side there of the bucktail, and then as you go forward towards the eye, just tighten your turns up. Trim off the blunt ends now. So that's the underwing, or you could call it the tail, done. Now for the overwing, I just use a purple bucktail, and again just a few strands. That's probably enough. And you want that slightly longer than the orange bucktail. Again, just pulling out the longer sections there, just give you a nice taper. And just 2 or 3 turns. Tighter turns towards the eye. And just trim off these blunt ends. Right, for the top of the fly as a topping, I tend to use this crystal here, which again is a pearly crystal here. Just 2 strands of that. And that wants to be just slightly longer than the wings that you've put on. What I tend to do is just roll the materials together. That just helps with the tapering of the fly, and it gives it a nice streamlined shape. It helps the fly fish actually. If your fly's too bulky, it tends to tangle up in your casting, and it doesn't swim as well in the water either. So that's the winging done. Now what we tend to do is just put a hackle at the front of it. So a large cock hackle, again fluorescent orange. And what I'll do to start with that is just take some of these long lower filaments off it. That helps it turn over and tie in better. And I use the stock end, the thick end of the hackle, just laying that beside the eye of the fly and turning over. Pretty tight turns on this so it doesn't slip. And give it a wee pull, just make sure it's tight. And with the pliers, you don't have to be right on the tip, it will tend to break, so just start a little further down with the pliers. And the first turns you want to make towards the wing of the fly, so just do 2 or 3 turns towards the wing. And take a thread and just work it intricately between the fibres. And then take the rest of the hackle and work it around. And again, just work your thread through the hackle and cut off the excess. Now at the moment it looks a bit kind of splayed out, a bit spiky and things, but just work the hackle fibres away from each other, giving it a nice kind of even distribution. And take thumb and forefinger and just push, put a bit of force in here and just push the whole lot back towards the end of the hook there. And once they're in place, this is quite a tricky part, just take your thread and slowly wrap round, and then just working your way down towards the head. It might slip off slightly, but that doesn't matter, you can build up below again. And then just work it again back towards the hackle. And what this is actually doing is you're creating a large head, but a lot of people nowadays tend to tie salmon flies with very small heads, but I actually prefer a fairly large head on the fly, especially now that we're going to give it a finish of red, because it will create a kind of trigger point for the salmon. Now the hackle here, just push it into shape. It wants to be fairly streamlined like the rest of the fly. That'll help it fish. And again, it's a sort of nod to the old spey flies that always had these kind of long, slim hackles. So that's the sort of shape built up for the head now. So what I do now is take finishing material, which is Glow Bright, number 4. It's somewhere between a sort of hot orange red kind of colour. So. And you just work that over the top of the black head that you've already done there. Once you've got enough on it, you can take the black thread and just cut that away. And then again, just trim off the excess Glow Bright. And then just slowly work the Glow Bright through the head that you've already done there, building it up as you go. It's just slipping slightly. There we go. And that's it, pretty much finished. We just need a whip finish now. I use a traditional method. It's just a piece of backing tied to the vise there. Just form a little loop and lay that on the side, and then 2 or 3 turns over. And then you just take your tag end of your Glow Bright through the loop and pull the loop down, and that just locks the material under the number of turns that you've done. Give that a good pull to make sure it's tight, and just trim off the excess. And as a head cement, I tend to use Loctite super glue, just a small layer of that on. The reason I like that, it dries clear, and it doesn't take away any of the kind of vibrant colour of the Glow Bright. Some varnishes tend to be a bit dull. So yeah, that's it. That's the Grant's Orange. Then just work these fibres in the tail there, giving it the shape. But that's been my most prolific fly in the years that I've salmon fished, so hopefully that little demonstration will help you tie it and catch a few fish yourself.